Let's take a step back. Does everything really begin when we perceive a starting point? No. Everything depends on two key elements. The first relates to the conditions we are in just before detection activates, such as, for example, phenomena known as hyper or hypoarousal, or, in other words, conditions of chronic activation, excessive or insufficient, of the sympathetic or parasympathetic system, of certain brain networks, or other interconnected systems between mind, brain, immune system, metabolism, and many others. A person can find themselves in these conditions further to trauma, chronic stress, or other adverse conditions. In these instances, it's critical to act on core physiology, even before acting on the response cycle, using techniques that are especially targeted to act on these preconditions. On the other hand, it can be interesting to act in a controlled manner on certain phases of activation to achieve a positive effect on core physiology. For example, the phases of modulation and termination play a key role in managing these states of hyper or hypoactivation through practice and experience. There are also some other preconditions that can influence the outcome of the events: epigenetic mutations, inflammation due to bad nutrition and/or drug abuse, sleep-wakefulness cycles, and various other behavioral aspects. A holistic approach needs to consider all these elements to significantly improve later stage work. With this approach, people feel assisted and accepted all around, in every area of their daily life, and with an outlook that strategically encompasses the past, the present, and the future, and that is aimed to achieving effectiveness rather than method for method's sake. The other element that plays a key role in the phase before reality takes shape is that of forecasting. Our brain is continuously making predictions. We do it to stay a step ahead and increase our safety, but there are also some interesting forecasting processes that relate to motivation, fulfillment, and social interaction. Our reaction often activates specific thoughts and emotions, based more on forecasting than on actual perception. As shown by Lisa Barrett-Feldman and other researchers, there is a neurological basis to this fact. The neural pathways that transmit predictions and prejudgments, literally judgments made early, are faster and more powerful than those that carry internal and external sensory perception. This has important repercussions on our reactions, but also on the distortions with which we evaluate reality. This is another instance where it's important to note some caveats. The forecasting involved in this phase is extremely rapid and often not conscious. Rational and pondered forecasts belong to the so-called problem-setting phase. In the prediction stage, there is a continuous system of anticipation that, if all is working correctly, should constantly be compared against reality in order to be as effective as possible. It's as though our mind is trying to stay a few seconds ahead of the present in order to be prepared and help reality to flow smoothly. Issues arise when we try to impose our predictions on reality. People often superimpose the two levels. They focus on their forecasts, which they have forcibly confirmed, as though these were indeed reality. This mechanism is at the heart of numerous types of individual suffering and interpersonal misunderstandings that can result in exhausting conversations during which each side tries to convince the other, or alternatively, in a frustrating sense of impotence in communicating. It's not through logic or rhetoric that these forecasts can be altered. Rather, we need to act by changing the specific processes that are stopping the correct integration of data from reality and restoring the functional system.